What's up, Panther fans? It is week 1 of the NFL season. We're coming in, playing the Giants on Sunday. I know everyone is so excited and hyped up for the season, and so am I. So I'm here with the Carolina Panthers Facebook video blog to give you all a nice little preview of what I think we're going to see on Sunday. I'm so ecstatic that the season is finally here. Watched the Saints-Vikings game some last night. That was good to see real football for the NFL. The game actually meant something. So, unfortunately, we couldn't put a divisional opponent down 0-1 to start the season, but I think that the Saints looked kind of, they didn't look as invincible as they have looked. Their first drive was amazing, but aside from that, they look like a team that we could beat this year and overtake for the division, I believe, if we play our game. And I think, the Vikings, Brett Favre looked, a little slow. Maybe, he should have retired. Who knows? But that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about the Panthers, and I know that's what you all came here and clicked on this link to see. But, playing the Giants this week, Meadowlands Stadium, their new stadium. This will be the first real game in their new stadium. Everyone is really excited up in New York to be playing this game, and a lot of people are talking about the revenge aspect of this game because we beat them 41-9 to close out last season. Really embarrassed them in their home stadium for their final game, and really closed out that stadium just with tears, I think. So that was really nice. But I think there is an aspect of revenge there, maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's going to play that big of a bearing on this team. They're different players now. These teams have kind of experienced a lot of turnover and who is starting and different things like that. So I don't think it's going to be as big of a factor as some may think. But I just want to dive right in and give a really thorough preview on what I'm looking for and what I expect to see on Sunday. Some of y'all have looked at some statistics, I'm sure, and noticed that the Panthers, throughout the preseason, their defense has been good. It's been very good. And most statistical categories, they're ranked top 1 or 2, in the league through the preseason. And I don't see that changing for this week. We're getting back Tyler Brayton. He's going to be back off injury. And, everybody's going to be full strength for this Sunday. And I think, a guy like Eli Manning, he sometimes can be forced into some really errant throws, and he doesn't take pressure well like his brother does. He's no Peyton Manning by any means. So I think with our defense being as good as it's been so far in the preseason, I think that getting pressure shouldn't be too much of a problem. And we've got a good defensive backfield. It may be young, but led by Chris Gamble and those guys, I think they're going to do a phenomenal job and be able to shut down this attack. Step one, though, is going to be stopping the run, because when we played them back 2 years ago for the number 1 seed in the NFC, which we lost in the last possession, that's a problem we had with them. We're stopping the run. They ran all over us in that game, and I like to think that we're a little bit better right now than we were then at stopping the run, and hopefully, we can shut down that 1-2 tandem of Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs. But we know Derek Ward has since departed and flopped in Tampa Bay, and now he's buried at the depth chart in Houston. But these two guys, how I feel about them, Brandon Jacobs is a bruiser. He's been around the league for a while, but there's some turmoil going on there. They're kind of clashing with each other because Ahmad Bradshaw has been given the number 1 job, and Brandon Jacobs is a little sour about it. So, I think there is some some competition on this team that it's not healthy, and that's happening at other positions too, like defensive end with O.C. Umenyiora still on the roster, but he's been benched in favor of Matthias Kiwanuka, and you've got other players that are being put in the starting lineup, and some veterans that are being benched. And this is something that's the reason that the Panthers ended up cutting Jake Delhomme instead of making him a backup, because I think it's kind of awkward to have a veteran that's been around that long to be placed behind a new player like that and expect them to just sit back and take it quietly. So I think that's one thing the Giants have against them for this whole season. They're going to have to. That's going to be a challenge for them And like with the Panthers being all young, I think there's no dissension in any ranks there because I mean our average age is so young that everybody's fairly new to this game, unless you're talking about John Casey. But that's neither here nor there. He's entrenched as the kicker. There's no one else there to take that spot. But I think that stopping the run has got to be a priority for this defense, getting pressure on Eli Manning, which I'll give the Giants credit. They have a very good offensive line, and a lot of people know that. But I feel like with what we've shown in the preseason, I think we can get a lot of pressure on him and force him to some bad decisions. But like I was saying earlier, our defense is ranked the top 1 or 2 in most categories throughout the preseason. The Giants' offense, however, is ranked toward the very bottom in offense throughout the preseason. Most of their categories, have them ranked down 31st, 32nd, around that area, bottom of the league, regardless. So I think that this is going to be a fun matchup to see there. And on the other side of the ball, our offense didn't click at all in the preseason. We went 4 straight weeks without an offensive touchdown, and to say the least, it's discouraging. But that hasn't happened in the 14 years that the record has been kept for that. But I think getting back Steve Smith this week, getting back Jonathan Stewart. The only person that we're down is Jeff Otah, and he's going to be out reportedly now 2 to 3 weeks, probably with this setback he had on his torn meniscus injury. So, but I have confidence in Jeff Schwartz. He's played well so far in the preseason. He played well at the end of last season. I think that he's going to be okay for us, and I think he can play well at that right tackle spot. I feel pretty confident. I mean, surely he's not Jeff Otah. It's a step down, but I think we'll be okay because, he was the guy that started last year in New York when we ran all over him. And really, we put up, Jonathan Stewart put up over 200 yards rushing against that defense. So I think we'll be okay. The biggest thing I'm probably going to watch overall this weekend is going to be how they get Steve Smith involved. He hasn't played at all in the preseason, but, this guy's really, really fired up for the season. And nonetheless, we're playing the team that he broke his arm against in the first week. So I think there's going to be even more added motivation for Steve Smith. And, the guy motivates himself to no end. Really, if he needs any more motivation, like this, he might just kill someone out there. So, who knows? We don't want that to happen, of course, but, this guy's going to be through the roof for the start of this game. I can see him scoring a couple touchdowns probably, and I hope they get him involved early because he's going to be a man on a mission. But with that, with him out there taking pressure off the other receivers, I want to see who emerges as a number 2 receiver, whether it's Dwayne Jarrett, Brandon LaFell, maybe even David Geddes, but I don't know if he'll be active. And there's questions looming right now whether Armani Edwards will even be active, which I'm going to be disappointed if he's inactive because, he's my boy. So, but I will be disappointed if that's the case. But early reports are that Captain Munderland will be returning punts to start off. So we may wait a week or 2 before we see Armani out there on game day, which that's okay. Let him develop, but I'm just kind of disappointed if that's the case. But I think with double trouble back together and healthy for Sunday, we're going to run all over these guys. I don't see anything really stopping us that much. And they have some new guys playing defense, and I think that that we're going to get our offense kick-started right off the bat. And with the addition of Steve Smith coming back, it's just I think I can see us putting up possibly 4 touchdowns on offense is what I hope. But I think overall this could end up being a defensive battle. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game, but I think in most areas the Panthers are favored, even though that we're a 7-point underdog on the betting line, which is kind of crazy, I think. With some of the matchups that we have that big of a gap is just ludicrous. But, we're going into this game as an underdog. That's where Carolina likes to play. That's where John Fox likes us to be. And so I'm really excited, and it's going to wait and see what we can do. I'll have a review vid depending on how I feel about the game. Probably Sunday night or Monday. It depends on the outcome, of course, because, if we don't show up in a given week, it kind of, I feel down at least the first half of the week after that game. But I think we're going to show up well. We usually always play the Giants tough, and we usually end up beating them in a lot of times. So I feel good about it. I'm not going to give a prediction like many of the other video bloggers have been doing. We don't like giving predictions because we are football fans. We are superstitious, so I don't see that as a necessity. So I'm just going to say that I think we're going to play pretty well this Sunday, and you can infer from that what you will. So, but what I just got to ask you is, are you ready? Are you ready for some football? Because I know I am, and I know that you guys are getting pumped up. I know I'm getting pumped up, and I just really cannot wait till Sunday at 1 o'clock when that ball's kicked off. I'm just going to go nuts. It's been a long off season, and I cannot wait. So everyone, hit the comments, give me your thoughts. If you want to put score predictions, I'm fine with that. Comment with that, and I'll respond to those comments. And don't forget to subscribe. If you like what you see, subscribe button right up top here. Hit that, and I will be having the new video intro up and running probably next week. I don't know if I'll have it ready for the review vid for this game, but we will see. Other than that, that's all for now. I'll be back Sunday night, Monday for a review. But in the meantime, just pull hard for the Panthers Sunday. It's going to be a young team, but I think it's going to be a very exciting season. And this team has the potential to be special. Honestly, it does. And we'll see what happens. So Sunday at 1 o'clock, Fox, better be there. In the meantime, go Panthers.